Welcome to the Black Men Think podcast. If this is your first time here, know that the views and opinions expressed by the Black Men Think podcast are those of the Black Men Think podcast and not the individual members. With that being said, we're about to be unapologetically, undeniably black. Enjoy.
So look, man, I just got one question. One simple question. Bro, where y'all been at?
Well, we ain't seen these dudes in forever, man. What's up, Chris? What's up, Tory?
What's up, man?
It's good to be here, man. It's good to be here. You know, we live in life. It's been a lot of things that have happened over the last number of months. And I know you guys know this offline. You know, we obviously stay together on text to a degree, but I mean, it sounds corny as I'm saying it, but saving democracy. I mean, as you guys know, I was on the side, you know, helping out the Biden campaign in my personal volunteer time. And I really dove in on that. And then I was blessed. I was on the Biden presidential transition, and I did that. I did a lot of economic recovery and the Small Business Administration transition work. So like that's been a thing. And I'm happy to, you know, we can talk about that at another point in time, but life's been wild. We've had family challenges with COVID, grandmother, you know, some health challenges and just a lot of different things. So life, man, life has been life. And so, but I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be with you all as brothers. I'm glad to be in this moment to share perspective as I kind of get back integrated in what's going on and share things that I've seen, I've heard, and I know, because I think we're just in that moment right now. I'm just loving what I'm seeing with Black Men Think. I'm loving what I'm seeing just in this Black space. People are like, there's an awakening. I mean, we knew this. We said this. We said this like a year ago and more when we were doing Black Men Think. We knew that there was a resurgence. We knew that there was energy that was being kind of pumped into this. And I'm just glad that we're a part of it. So I'm just happy to be home.
Dope, man. Welcome back.
Definitely, bro. Welcome back. What about you, Tory? Tory, you've been here. So it's not like you've been absent, but it's been a couple episodes.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Just not as consistent as usual. But you know, it's kind of like Chris, just life, man. You know, busy on the work front, so it kind of took me out for a little bit. Then you know, offline, y'all know about some of the personal things that you know I have going on now. So you know, just readjusting to the new phases in life, new times in life as well, you know, and just trying to really balance all of that, and just, you know, trying to move things forward. So, you know, trying to get back now more steady, you know, more, you know, progressive in on being on the podcast. So hopefully starting now, you know, I should be able to do more in a routine now, you know, I got over a lot of these hurdles and things of that nature.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's like Chris said, it's good to be back.
Let's be clear. There ain't no warrants. There ain't nothing. No, like we ain't them types.
Nothing
legal. There ain't none of that. None of that. We not those.
Well, you just got out, bro. You just got out.
We ain't them black dudes. We not those black dudes.
They ain't never been to jail. Don't plan on going to jail. I ain't the one for jail. So.
Right. Like,
well, I have, but we'll say that story for another day too.
Yeah, man, I was down bad for a little bit, but you know, I
should have went home, man. Should have went home.
None of that, listeners. None of that. No disrespect. There's none of that for us.
Yeah, that's funny. So you know, before we started recording the episode, man, we was having a pretty insightful conversation just about money. We were really talking about money. We were talking about investing and where we were in that stage in our lives. And I know all of us have different stories on where we are from the investing standpoint, but I kind of want to get into that, you know, just and not really because none of us are professionals when it comes to investing, but I think it's more so of a mindset conversation, right? So I know Mo and Tory. I know Tory. Now we both really started going deeper on the investment side as far as personal. I know all of us got like 401ks and things of that nature, but So Tory, kind of starting with you, man. What has your investment journey kind of looked like in these past couple of years?
Yeah. So like you said, outside of the work related one, right? Me and my wife, we probably started investing maybe 2015-ish, where we just put some money and we let like a actual, company manage.
Right.
So it's a money management type account. So that actually did pretty good, make the standard 8 to 10%, sometimes 12% a year. So that one, brought us some money. And then, towards the end of 2019, we started thinking like, what, maybe we should start investing. And then the beginning of 2020, it was the COVID thing that was coming out. And so at that point, that's when, I'm like, okay, let's take some money and really being more intentional about it. We've been playing around with this. And so, after, I had a conversation with you and you told me about a particular stock. That was really the first stock that I bought, so I jumped into that, and then, just started seeing, how some stocks was going down that I knew was like good and valuable. And I was like, you know what? They're pretty reasonable now. Let me at least put some money in here and just start buying things. So, around February, March timeframe, I really started, we put money in there, right? And, luckily for us, it's been paying off. 2020 was actually a really good year for first time as an investor, a personal investor like me, and me watching and manage it, because my wife don't. I'm the one that really looks at it. So, I bought about 10 different stocks, and they've all done really, pretty good for me. Of course, you have those ups and downs, some days you lose some money, some days you're making money. But overall, compared to the position I was in last year, we're doing really good, man. So that's kind of really how my journey really started. And then also just really looking now at my personal, my professional ones that's being managed, now it's the time to take a little bit more risk as well. So, looking at them, talking with the money management people like, hey, you know what, maybe I want to be a little bit more risky for this next coming year since it's doing pretty good. And, just going at it from that way, man. So that's kind of how my journey is. So I'm still a novice by all stretch of the imagination. But talking with guys like you and, other people that have been investing a tad bit longer than me and kind of know a little bit much, and just trying to really get all the knowledge I can in the spare time that I do have it. So that, that's kind of how I got into it, where I am right now.
No. So I have a very similar story to you, Tory, as well. Like, of course, 401ks and I've had some mutual funds here and some other accounts that other people take care of. And around the same time, I'll say 2019-ish, started just thinking about like, what, I kind of want to start messing with some stuff on my own. And, I saw a couple of ones. And the thing about, I didn't have a lot of knowledge about investing, but to me, I just look like, like any other hustle. You buy low and sell high. That's the mentality, buy low, sell high. And, one of the things that I saw early on with investing is look into the companies that you're familiar with first, because you'll have a real, it feels real to you, right? When you go and invest in companies that you may haven't heard of, you just, it feels different than if you, like, I love Nike Blazers and Nike Huaraches. So if I go and invest in Nike, it feels different because I feel like I'm a part of that company. So I might pay attention a little bit more. I might invest wisely and things of that nature. And so, I don't know how many stocks I have in my portfolio. I mean, companies, probably over 30 at this point. And some are like, 100 shares. Some of them are one share. For me, it's like, what? If I see a company, I'll look at that 5-year and then I'll look at that 52-week high and see where it's going to 52-week low and see kind of where things are at. And then I'll make a decision based off of that. And really, I just started getting the mindset of like just putting a little money to the side to invest every month, and then kind of build it from there.
You just said a thing though, JD. You just said a thing though, because I think this is critical for this conversation, in that we've been seeing a lot of what's going on right now in the last number of weeks with GameStop and AMC and another number of these like really high, they call them meme stocks, because they're blowing up on Reddit, they're blowing up on social media and the whole nine. And there's been this kind of war that's been waged with kind of traditional, there's like the retail investor and there's the actual like institutional investor, and there's been some like warring on that front. But the reality is like trading is not supposed to be like sexy and hot like this. This isn't supposed to be like, all right, I'm in DC, so right over the way is MGM Grand. And so if I go over there, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna like double up real quick and do a thing, and I can like come off with something. It's not supposed to be like that. And it's fascinating to see what's been going on right now with the bubbles that have been taking place. You said a thing that I think I want to at least hone in on, and so we can exploit the idea of like, I've seen a couple of things, I put in some dollars, I'm gonna let that sit, and I'm gonna let that sit for 5 years. Let's just like put that out there. That's what this is actually supposed to be about.
Right.
And I think I just want us to make sure, because we already know in our community, we're behind the 8 ball financially, historically speaking, right? Financially, from the access points that we have. And I just don't want us to get caught in a moment because of the savviness that we don't have, and the educational level of this, because there's there's like pedagogy behind investing. I mean, I showed y'all earlier, I got like 4, 5, 6 books. I mean, there's all types of stuff on this.
Yeah.
And if you're on social media right now and you're seeing a lot of what's going on with these meme stocks, you may just be like, oh, I'm just gonna go in and try to like just do a thing. And you may end up in a situation like the young man. I don't know if y'all saw the story of the young man that he was like day trading to a degree. And he committed suicide because he legitimately thought he was in the red $700,000. And and effectively it was just like, a couple hundred to a couple thousands of dollars. Like it was nothing other than like, all right, that's not great, but like whatever, you can make that up. And he was like, I am almost $1 million in debt because of his lack of knowledge on certain things, and also the new platforms that are making this equitable and accessible. There were some communication issues on that. So I just don't want us to be caught in these moments of like, oh, this is the hot thing to do. This is the thing to do.
100%.
To your point around the mindset, let's get ourselves educated. Let's get ourselves informed. Legitimately, you can get it to the level of like going to a bookstore and getting some really great books. I mean, you can just Google some things, Values Investors Forum. You can go on Reddit and literally Google and type in some things and then find some like subreddits that will tell you some things. So I just want to at least like pinpoint what you said.
No, that's a good point, bro.
It's just an idea of like this isn't supposed to be hottening in the moment.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I can actually speak from that space as somebody who honestly is not that educated about stocks, about the market, about trading. I mean, I have retirement funds. I have target date funds, where the trading is set to a certain date and it's, certain level of aggressiveness, based on when I want to retire. Right. And then of course, based on the date, obviously the more aggression that's on it, it's going to be, diverse across, whether it's bonds here or, stocks, international trade, that type of thing. At most, I can do that. Like I can contribute money to that. I can look at it. I can see how it's performing. I can see, what stocks I have. But when the whole Robinhood thing went down, honestly, I didn't know enough about it. And I mean, I have Robinhood, and at best I have a few free, stocks that I got just because I got a few people signed up. And, what started at 0, has a few decimal points over now. So I kind of sit there, I manage that, I hold, I don't really know what I'm doing with it, but, I didn't want to jump in with the whole, rave of GameStop and AMC because I didn't know what I was doing, So, and granted, honestly, I while it's something that I want to learn more about, it's nothing that I want to just follow the trend on, because I do, like you said, I understand that, this investment game has never been as quick as a Twitter feed. It's something where you've got to have patience.
You just dropped a whole quote.
The
investment game has never been as quick as a Twitter feed.
And honestly, bro, like many other games, this one's set up against, people that look like us in many ways, because we typically don't have the information in our communities. So for us to jump on, that's what I'm saying. So for us to jump on a wave like that and feel like, and granted, I've talked to a lot of people and a lot of folks, man, this is doing well, blah, blah, blah. Oh man, did you see that today? I'm like, chill. I don't know enough, and maybe you're right, but I feel like we need to get educated.
Yeah, education is the point. I'm sorry, Corey. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm in the same boat, man, because it's like, when I think about buying a pair of shoes or something, I'm like, man, that's money I could actually put into, some stock. So instead of trying to hop online to, get some shoes or go stand in line at a store, I mean, I can just hop on my phone or tablet or something and actually put it into stock, because I'm not too knowledgeable about it. I guess I should be more, take more risk in investing in stocks. So this is pretty good information for me.
But I'll say though, Corey, this is the thing. Actually, what you just said, I'll push back on a little bit. No one's actually asking you to invest in stocks. At the end of the day, what JD said is it's the mindset. It's the mindset. And I'm not gonna even sit here because I'm still dealing with this. I got some deeply ingrained conspicuous consumption behaviors. Y'all know it. We've already talked about it on
Call
the
J's.
Right? Like I could burn it, I could swipe and I could do the thing, and we know that, and that's just deep behaviors. And also to the point you're making, Mo, like that comes from a place of like lack of financial literacy and understanding, absolutely. Right? And so like I acknowledge that, and I'm doing things and like addressing things legitimately. Corey, to the point you're making though, I actually want to say no. Now isn't, yes, this is a great time, and there's been a lot of conversations around this. If anything, use this time to say, like, I have no idea, let me at least learn it and just like see, because it necessarily may not be for you. The thing that we've actually touched on in a lot of different ways is like, some of us have actually people who are managing, management funds. Some of us, like, I have some of that. Crystal has some of that. We also work at companies where we have been afforded restricted stock units, free money that's been extended to us as a result of your compensation package. Then and then there's the idea of being kind of like not so much retail traders, but we can go in and do our own little thing and here and there. And we got all that, but everybody's on a different spectrum with that. Right. So for you, Corey, what I would say is like, it's not so much that like, oh man, I just bought these J's, I should put some stocks out there. Actually, no. Maybe don't buy the J's and maybe put it towards something that you just know will do something financially for you. Period.
That's a good point.
Not necessarily the stocks. There's just things. Hell,
there's so many more ways to get money.
Savings. Mm-hmm. If we just going, if we're just going to be super honest about it, right? We can throw out a lot of data points that the average American, much less Black American, the average American is like legitimately less than one paycheck away from like legitimate financial ruin and homelessness. Yeah. That's like an actual statistic. And so no J's, that 200 can be in the bank. And then you just, the idea of 6 months in savings and all these other things. And I'm just saying, I'm still learning these things. I'm still developing those behaviors. I'm trying to do that now because I see it. I see my peers that I'm around and they're just so comfortable with money. They're comfortable with doing certain things. And I'm just like, that's fascinating to me. And I just don't have it the same way that you do. And so, I don't know. I wasn't trying to take up so much time. I was only just, as you said that, it wasn't, I just really, because the way you just articulated that, there's a lot of people that feel that way. And you want to know what? It's just like JD talk about like losing weight and like some of these lifestyle and health benefits. Like anytime that you psychologically think of it as like a punitive, like, dang, I should have did it that way. Yep. Almost it reinforces that you will never do it because you will never see it. It will never map with where you are. Right. So don't even think about it that way. If it strikes you, just hold on that $200. Just hold it.
That's real.
Yeah. That's some solid advice, Chris. That's actually some real good advice. The name of the game, honestly, is just margin, bro. Like that's really all it is. And I can't remember if I spoke about this on the podcast before, so if I did, forgive me, but I was watching a video with this guy. He's a reseller for shoes. And his thing is he doesn't want his prices to be super high. And so his thing is like he had boxes behind him where
volume and margins,
right? And so his thing was, if I buy some shoes from somebody for 180, I want to sell them for 200, right? And the average person might think like, man, you're only making $20 off of that, right? Instead of most people, when we try to resell anything, we're trying to get as much money as we possibly can. But he's looking at it like, no, I'm thinking about volume. There's 30 pairs of shoes behind me. I just made $600 today. Now, that might not, like, if you just throw the number 600 out, that might not seem like a lot, right? But if you break that down, he probably did about 2 hours of work, $600 made. So if you break that down, that's $300 an hour. Now, I don't know about y'all, but $300 an hour, I don't care what field you in, that's a lot of bread, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so
definitely.
Look at the job that you have right now and break down where you are, and whatever that number might be in your head, you look at where you are hourly, and then you put that toward, this guy's just thinking about margin. He doesn't care. And so I say all that to say, even with whatever that we're doing, whether it's saving your money or if you're reselling something or if you're investing, at the end of the day, bro, all we're trying to do is just make a little bit of profit.
That resale game though is
real, bro.
It's a real thing. I mean, I hate it because I can't get what I want sometimes. Like, let's just throw that out there. I really hate y'all bots. I'm putting it out there. I hate bots.
He was so angry.
I hate y'all bots, and I hate y'all bots, and I hate y'all bots. I hate y'all. I can't get what I want.
Pack. I think it was the Kobe pack.
I was hurt. I was hurt, man. R.I.P. Kobe, KB 824. I am still very upset about that.
Man.
But I also get this conversation that we're having where people see this as a very unique moment to make money,
right,
in ways in which in intrinsically and historically we haven't been able to. So now, as we were talking, and Tory, like, I mean, like, I appreciate what you said around the different things you've done and how long you've done it. We're professionals. And so, like, there is inherently some things that are going to be to our benefit because we are professionals. We're going to be extended in some of our job opportunities, like a package of things that are like, oh, I mean, hell, I didn't even know what a package was just like a number of years ago. But then you now got brothers who are like, I only like Nikes and Adidas, and I can get money off that. Why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I sell these shoes to people? Why wouldn't I do the PlayStations? Why wouldn't I do these things? And I get it. So there's that real tension there because I get it. I absolutely do. I just hate that I can't get what I want when I want it.
Gift and curse.
You can pay the premium for it. That's all.
I mean, see, look, hey, he's a reseller. You can see it. You see right there. I can't get what I want because what he just said right there. Oh, you can get it. Just pay me for it.
Gotta pay that coin.
There you go.
Pay that coin.
But I think that Chris, that does lead us into what you were talking about is a good conversation topic as well, as about how nowadays people that traditionally couldn't be in this realm are actually now being able to do that. And I think that that's also one of the beautiful things about it is, you know, for a long time, for whatever it might be, we might not have been taught about it or things of that nature. But now everything is a click away. And so we're getting better and more understanding about it. And we're able to actually participate in it at our own free will. And I think that's the beautiful thing about it. And then you have certain platforms that make it even easier, you know, so like your Robinhoods, your TD Trade and things of that nature, to where you it's literally at your fingertips now. All you have to do is just be willing to consume it and apply what you learned and what you see, and, you know, make those educated decisions as best as you can. So, you know, I hate to bring it this way, but it kind of makes me think of it kind of as a game, because that's how it really is. You know, with games, you learn it, you know, you really go heavy into it. You really have to be dedicated like that in the initial beginning until you get to understand the flow of things, how you purchase, how you sell, what's the difference between buying on margin and things of that nature. So once you're able to get the basic understanding of the game, it becomes a little bit easier. And, you know, the rest of it is just you know, I hate to say it, the stock market is what the stock market is. It's a gamble. It's a guess. So even you might have the best information possible and still lose. But that's something that, you know, for every great risk, there's a huge reward that's sometimes associated with it as well. So you just got to keep that in mind as well, that everything that you do is going to have some type of risk to it. You just got to have that appetite to judge how risk you want to be with things.
You know, Tory, and I know we can shift gears in a sec, but I do want to say this. The thing about stocks, and this is just a tip for people that are looking to invest, right? This is not professional advice. I'm just telling you what helps me. When you start investing, it helps to set a time for yourself to look at your portfolio, right? Now, personally, I look probably every day, which is not really a good thing because I'm not a day trader by any means of the imagination. Like, I go in and I buy things that I like with the intent of sitting on it for, you know, 5+ years. But I still look at it because, like Tory said, it's like a game, right? It's the way for me to compete as a 36-year-old man that's not able to play sports anymore like that. Like, this is my way to compete, so to speak. But something that really helps, because you're going to have those ebbs and flows. Like today, I lost $200, right? Lost $200 in the stock market today. But what helps me is that I'll go out and look at, okay, well, what did I do for the week? Okay, what did I do for the month? What did I do for the three months? What did I do for the year? What did I do across the board? When you look at it from a long, like a more broad view, it eases your anxiety levels a whole lot. Because while I might have lost $200 today, I've made a ton over the lifetime of my portfolio. And so that helps me to say, like, oh, today was just not a good day. Move on, wipe your head away from it and keep going. But you can't look at it like Chris said, you can't look at it like the MGM, bro, because you're gonna panic the first day you lose some real money. You're gonna pull everything out and you're gonna beat yourself up 6 months later when that stock that you pulled them triple. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly why, for me, I'm the type of guy that will go to a casino just for the environment, but I'd probably spend $5 on a slot machine because I'm just not the risk taker guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna enjoy y'all doing it. I'm gonna be sitting there watching, but I'm not about to throw away a whole bunch of money because I'm just not gonna take that risk. But that's why something like a target fund for me works, because I can put money at it and let it grow over time and let it do what it does. I don't need to see, I mean, I'm going to watch it, but I don't need to see it every day. I don't need that type of anxiety.
Right.
You know, that's just me.
Absolutely.
No, that's true.
Absolutely.
No, I think that's good because, you know, and I love that analogy that you made with the slot machines and going to a casino. You know, I'm a little bit different. So you do it on that minimalist.
Yeah, there you go.
So, you know, me, I do it is, I have a certain amount that I budget, and I only take that amount with me when I go there. Win, lose, or draw, you know, it is. I use it as a disposable type of. I use it as entertainment budget, basically. So that's what I call it. It's my entertainment budget for today. And so I take that. Sometimes I win. Sometimes I lose. But whatever it comes, at the end of the day, I go expecting that I was going to spend this certain amount of money today for my entertainment. And so, you know, so that's the way I look at it. And that really helps because it takes all the pressure off of you. And, you know, you don't get caught up. You know, if you win some money, great. If you lose some money, you're not really losing because you're going to spend them anyway.
Real good point. That's a real good point there. To kind of shift gears a little bit, though, we've had these conversations, and we missed the last episode, but we wanted to have these Black History moments, right? We said instead of celebrating Black History in February, we wanted to celebrate Black History every day, right? And so, with that being said, Corey, I looked it up, bro. Thank you for reminding me because definitely forgot. So, kind of, sort of, not really, but in the, I guess you can say, in the frame of this conversation, I wanted to just speak on, I have one here for the first lawyer, right? The first ever lawyer. So John Mercer Langston was the first Black man to become a lawyer when he passed the bar in Ohio in 1854. When he was elected to the post of town clerk of Brownham, New York, I probably slaughtered that, sorry. In 1855, Langston became one of the first African Americans ever elected to public office in America. John Mercer Langston also is the great uncle of Langston Hughes, famed poet of the Harlem Renaissance. So that's like, you know what I mean?
Talk about history makers, man.
Yeah, man. So,
golly, that's greatness, man.
That's like a 2-for-1 on Black history. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the environment that he went into? Being the first Black lawyer.
Tough.
And I mean, just the courage alone. Applaud. Like, we applaud you.
Like, what's the mentality to say that I want to go into this space and knowing that I'm going to be number one? It's different when you just so happen to stumble on being the first to do something. But he went in this like fully knowing that, I'm going to be the first Black man to become a lawyer.
I will say though, actually.
Go ahead.
Nah, he didn't. He was actually probably following his passion, his destiny, his drive, what he felt was given to him. Because I think that's the thing that we actually sometimes conflate in hindsight. In retrospect, we're like, of course he knew that. No, the brother was a lawyer. He likely had the law deeply embedded in him and loved arguing perspectives and persuasion and the idea of convincing people of a thing, or the idea of justice, or the idea of this. And that manifests itself in the professional world as a lawyer. And so I'm not saying you're not right, but I would also say that sometimes actually we look up and we're like, man, I actually just did this whole thing of stuff. And it was because you were following whatever was given to you. And so I don't even know if he really set out and was like, I'm going to be the first and I want to be the first in this, because how would he have actually known? Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
totally follow that.
All right, let's do this, because we do this all the time. Like when we talk about like sports, you remember, we all know those moments in games where like an athlete breaks a record, and they just were like playing.
They don't have a clue.
They have zero clue that they broke that record, or that they were the record keeper of that, because it was just like, oh, I just came out today just to compete.
Yeah,
and if they did break a record, it was like, oh, that's cool. That's nice to know. So I think what I'm saying is like, he just probably was going on about life. I mean, then in hindsight, it became the first. And so I think that's the type of thing that we got to reflect on and just go about what we're going about, be committed to what we're committed to, and just go hard and just commit ourselves to it.
Because to that point, man, you never know what moment is going to shine as your greatest, and that's why you can't waste a moment. You have to give every single moment everything that it deserves and everything that you've been given, so that it writes in history, a code for others, if you will. Like this gentleman messed around, became a lawyer, carved an entire pathway for the greats beyond even what was his nephew, or even on to someone like a Langston Hughes, or just to even have the name attached. Or a Thurgood Marshall, or so on and so forth, the many that have come after him. And so just in general, man, if you're out there, you're listening to this podcast, whoever you are, whatever it is that you do it like it will be etched in history. Because that's what the world deserves.
Do it like it's going to be etched in history. I mean, you just came with actually 2 bars.
I just wanted to drop that,
But the thing about it is, it will be etched in history, regardless.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Keep it going.
The difference is, some is to a greater degree, but everything that everybody does is going to be compiled into the compilation of history.
That's good, Tory.
So whether it's
he just told y'all Black Lives Matter. That's what he just told. That's what he just told y'all.
There you go.
He just said Black Lives Matter.
Really
at the end of the day, no matter where you at on that spectrum, the Black Lives Matter because you etched in history. Period.
So I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna put y'all all on the spot right now. So here's the thing: somebody is watching this and just got inspired to do a podcast.
Okay. There you go.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's just because it's what Tory just said. It's like we don't even consider the things that we do on our day to day that truly inspire people, because we're going by and just doing what we love to do, so to speak.
Right.
You're inspiring people every day. Like, you know, we've all, and we don't have to go over the accolades, but we've all accomplished things in our lives that we probably didn't see as a kid, but there's a kid watching you achieve those goals and say, like, yo, if that person can do it, I can do it too. So, you know, with that being said, man, first off, we're happy to have y'all back. It's good to see my brother on the screen. My other brother, he down the street, so you know I still see him every now and then. But still, it's good that we're here, and we thank y'all for listening. I don't really have a black thought, brother. Like my black thought here's my black thought. I'm lying. I have a black thought. Brotherhood. And the reason why it's brotherhood is because brotherhood not only allowed this podcast to happen, but it allowed us to continue to have conversations that we can bring out to the world, right? Offline, we had a conversation about changing our mentality when it came to finances and investing. And while we're all in different stages of that right now in our lives, we offer real life solutions, right? What you told Corey, Chris, is a gem, bro. Like, no, if you're not ready to start opening up a Robinhood account, cool. Just save that bread instead of spending it on the shoes. Like, just change the mentality. It's one small tweak will start something else, because what'll happen naturally, Corey will see like, yo, I got like an extra $5,000 sitting in my account right now. What should I do with it? And now it's like, yo, I'm so used to saving.
That's a playground. That's the playground.
Now
There's
I
a lot
can
you can
do
do.
something else. You know what I mean? So that's a super dope gem, man. Thank y'all for listening. If y'all have any questions, any concerns, make sure that y'all continue to follow us on all things social media. Send us. We've been getting a lot of requests for topics, and trust me, we're seeing those topics, and we are planning to speak on a lot of those topics that we're getting in. We're just trying to make sure that we have something realistic and a conversation to have. So for people that are waiting, trust me, we see y'all questions coming in, and we will get to those, and we will have them on the podcast. But the best way I can say it, there's a time for every conversation. And so when that time happens, hopefully y'all still tuning in, and we'll make sure that we get those questions answered for y'all.
Sure.
But yo, that's it, man. Make sure y'all tune in next week. Make sure y'all subscribe, rate, review the podcast, and also follow us on Clubhouse. Join our follower count there. We're growing. I think we're over like 1,500 followers on Clubhouse, man. So join us there. We have offline conversations that go a little bit deeper into what we've been talking about here on the podcast. So that's it. See y'all next week.
The Black Men Think Podcast.